So we're live. I got, I don't know, about 12 or so questions about hair removal. If you have any questions while we're online, feel free to just write them. Well, we'll start with just talking about removing hair first. Yes, you can remove hair on your face, but there's a way you need to think about how you're removing that hair on your face. If you have a great deal of hair on your face, we recommend that you search for help from us and we'll guide you in the right direction. If you have a little bit of hair on your face, so a straw here or there, then it's something that you can actually take care of at home by yourself. So there's 3 different ways you can remove hair. The first way you can remove hair is called depilation. That is everything that cuts off a hair strand or removes the hair from the outside layer of your skin, so yttersta lager of huden. Those things are like shaving and creams and the eyebrow trimmer. Those kind of things don't really influence the way that your hair will grow, but it will, for a few hours to a day or 2, remove your hair and you should be able to be smooth. The downside with that kind of hair removal is that for some people it comes back quite quick and the hair can feel quite big. So most people feel like, well, it doesn't really work because it irritates, and the skin tends to not like hair growing out after it's been shaved for a lot of people, because it's quite a rough process. Then the next process that you have after depilation is epilation, and that is everything that will pull a hair strand out from its root. So you can have waxing, sugaring, an epilator machine, pincette, and this little puppy, the spring tweezer. All of those kind of treatments, and shortening, all of those kind of treatments pull out the root so that the hair has to regrow itself and start the whole process again. And that gives you a few weeks for some people, a month or 2 of having less hair growth and softer hair growth. So that's also a great area for the face to do epilation. And then you've got your third and final way of removing hair, which is called use, so light hair removal. And that can be IPL or it can be laser. It doesn't really matter. They both have the same concept, and that's to send heat all the way down the hair strand to the root and burn the root. We get often asked which one is better. Is laser better or is IPL better? Neither. They're the same shit in different packages, and you can pick whichever one you want. Ideally, how we like to look at it is that IPL machines can tend to do a lot more than what a laser machine can do. So economically, for a salon, they will choose an IPL machine just to be able to get more treatments and to help with their overall costs of running the salon. Whereas a laser machine is a little bit more fixed and it can only do certain things, which e.g. it can only remove hair. So it limits a salon's chance to make income. But both work exceptionally well in the right hands with the right knowledge and with the right machine. So I would say focus more on the place that you're going to, and that they actually know the machine that they're using and that they know what they're talking about over what machine you pick. We have Dior laser, and that's just because we only remove hair, and Dior laser focuses on just hair removal for everyone. And waxing and shaving is both individual. What works for me won't work for you, and how my shaving results and waxing results are is not the same as what yours are. So ideally you really need to pick something that suits your skin type and hair type, and test and play. We tend to get a little bit fixed in the way that we think about hair removal of, oh, I must do this, or this worked for my friend, so therefore it will work for me. There is no correct answer. It's really your responsibility to go out and test everything and say, okay, well, how does this work for me? And how does this work for me? And what might work for you right now with hair removal might not be what will work for you in 5 years from now. And that's okay. It's allowed to change. Your body changes, biology changes, your circumstances change, and you just need to know all of the 3 hair removal options and pick what suits you. I like to think when it comes to laser on the face is do it carefully and do it very consciously. You need to understand exactly what it is you're doing. A woman has an entire beard on her face. We have a beard just like a man does, except ours doesn't grow out like a man's does because we have hormones that hold it back. As we start to come up from roughly around our 20s, onwards up to our 60s, our hair on our face changes. And for some, they see it early. So we have girls coming in around 19, 20 that have a lot of facial hair, and they find it disturbing. But it's completely normal. Our bodies are supposed to produce this facial hair. And then most women start to notice it as they go up into about their 30s. Cut out for a bit. Up towards around your 30s, 40s, or after childbirth, you'll start to see your hairs on your face start to change. So when we go and do laser on the face, or predominantly the overlap to this question, we can stimulate the hair sacs that you don't see that aren't actively growing, and we can start telling them to grow because the heat goes down and kind of wakes them up a little bit. And that can be terrifying for some people. If you only have a few hairs here and there, we recommend, and they groove, we recommend pulling them out with tweezers or the epi-stick. So, and fine here, use an epi-stick or tweezers or wax. Do not start with laser because it will mean that you'll possibly get more hair and you'll be more upset. If you are at that point where you actually start to notice that you've got lots of hairs and it's going beyond using an epi-stick or going beyond using a pincette, then we recommend that you start considering either moving over to waxing and testing, coming into us and doing waxing, seeing if that gets you a little bit happier, or then start researching laser. But you have to be at that stage where you're prepared that you could get more hair and that you will continue with laser treatments. We've had copious amounts of people that have done laser in other places and started laser in a way that they've had 1 or 2 hairs, started doing laser at another salon, and the salon has not informed them that they can get more hair. By the time they come to us, they're so unhappy that they've got a full-on moustache. That can happen anyway. You can biologically get it, but generally if you've started laser, it is laser that's triggered the hair to start growing. So when it comes to the face, think pincette, epi-stick, waxing first before laser. And that's why we do consultations online with everybody, just to make sure that you are actually at that point in your life where you should consider laser. Nej, du får inte mer hår. Hair growth comes from biology. It is your body that is going to decide how much hair you actually get. It can feel, how do I explain this? Hair can feel different depending on how you remove it. So if you shave an area, you're going to feel like your hair has become harder and that you have more of it. If you remove your hair with wax or pincette or epilation, you will feel that you have softer hair and less of it. And that's because it stays on its natural growth process. So it is your body that decides how much hair you're going to get. In principle, you can laser your entire face, but not around the eyes. So we stay 1 centimeter away from the eyes because that's doctor area. But everywhere else you can actually laser safely. We don't laser up around the head just because of the hair growth cycles. We don't know, and you guys hate my answer. I'm sorry, but we don't know. And how I really like to clarify that is you don't know either. When you start getting less hair from doing laser, your perception over hair growth actually starts to change. So after a while, you start to feel like, oh, this is actually not as bad, because we tend not to actually be worried about the hair. It's usually our skin and the condition of our skin that bothers us the most. So when it comes to laser, we say don't put a number on it, because then you might be disappointed. Instead, start the process. Be comfortable with, okay, I might do 5 treatments. It will cost me X amount of money. But in those 5 treatments, I'm only going to start getting an understanding for what laser hair removal is and if I like it. My bikini line, I had loads of red spots on it. I hated having hair growth. It was embarrassing going to the beach. I was the girl with the white skin who can't tan and had to use concealer on the bikini line. So I actually thought my hair is my problem. But when I did a few treatments, I did 5 treatments in total on my bikini line, and I thought I would need to do like 30. The red spots disappeared because the irritation hairs that were causing my red spots disappeared. And then after that, I realized I don't actually care about the hair that's growing out my bikini line, because now I can shave or wax and it's not a problem. I had no idea I was going to feel like that. So it really is something where you have to go through the journey yourself and not compare to everybody else, but just be like, okay, I'm going to be open to what it's going to do for me and make my decisions as I go along. So we're not going to give you a number, and you can't give you a number, but be okay with starting and having an idea of how much laser treatments you're willing to do to get an idea of how it's going to work for you. Yes, I have a patch down here. We have women that come in with beards down here. We have lots of women that come in with hair growing up around here. Polysonger is very common. The thing is, we never ever talk about it. We never share that information with each other about our hair removal. We just go around hiding it. It's perfectly fine. You're supposed to have it. If you don't want it, there's ways to get rid of it. But you will get more as you get closer to your 80s and 90s. You're just going to get them. And we tend to get long white ones that are growing off our face, that are thin, and that we don't really see until somebody points out to us. But it's completely normal. Nej, det är inte det. As long as we stay away from the eye area, we can't go around there. If we do brows, we can do in the middle and we can do over, but we don't do under, and we definitely do not go around the eye for a centimeter. Rest of your face you can do. And we definitely do not go around the eye for a centimeter. Rest of your face you can do. Not a problem. And surprisingly, what nobody else also talks about, and I did one of these treatments yesterday, is our nose hairs. Women get nose hair problems too. And for around the nose, you can either wax, doesn't hurt, put a wax stick up there with a little bit of wax. But you can do the lower part around your nose, but you do not want to be going up into the nose. But you can start dealing with those longer hairs that are sticking out. You can do several things for Ansiktshårborttagning, because there's several things that cause Ansiktshårborttagning. But predominantly we say, if you're getting them on your face, it can be to do with blocked pores, it can be to do with your makeup and trying to remove hair in the wrong circumstances. So if you are using pincettes that are dirty, or if you have makeup on while you're trying to remove your hair, it can also cause ingrown hairs and pimples and spots. And I have a question down in here about getting red bumps and pimples. It's super common over your overlap to get bumps and pimples when you remove hair there. Part of it is because of how our skin produces sebum. If you wax regularly, those should eventually disappear. But if they become ingrown and problem and irritated, that's usually probably because you're getting dirt into the pores and you're not removing your hair correctly. So we recommend clean your face before you do any hair removal. Doesn't matter what kind of hair removal it is. Clean it, make sure that it's hygienic. And also whatever you're using, even if it's the Epi stick or tweezers, you want to make sure that those tools are clean. So have some disinfectant at home and clean them off. And then when you're finished removing all the hairs, you want to go through with a mist to close the pores. So this is our new one. It hasn't got the label on a bit. This is our new mist that's coming out. Those will go in and close the pores. You can also, if you don't want to buy a mist and you don't believe in them, then you can also use super cold water and close the pores. Our laser machine works on all hair spectrums, but we also have laser combined with a radio frequency, which helps spread the heat down to the root. Ideally, the best candidates that get the best or quickest results with laser hair removal is dark hair and light skin, and we've all heard it time and time again. But if you have dark skin and dark hair, it still works. And if you have red hair, blonde hair, and light skin, it still works. But the results might be a little bit different. You might not get them as quick. But from what we've seen with doing laser for 4 or 5 years in the salon, it doesn't matter. Even those people that have darker hair still can struggle with getting good results as well. So it's all about the hair strand being attached to the root. That is the most important thing to focus on, that we can actually get enough heat down to the root and burn the root. So it does have an impact, but not as big of an impact as you actually think it does.